If you memorize scripts and you don't understand this side of it, the personality types, the psychology of human behavior, the how to listen without wanting to be understood, then someone could throw you off over here with an objection you've never heard. You won't know how to solve it. If you can better understand, read more books on psychology and human behavior and why consumers act and why they don't act, and how to listen and understand personality types, that'll allow you to not only get way less objections, but how to navigate them. All right, so bonus episode here in June, which is awesome because more content for you. It allows you to prep yourself for the second half of the year. Today, we're going to talk about objections. If you're prospecting as a salesperson, this is one of the hottest topics that you're going to hear all over the place. You're going to have people on this side that are script. Every word works for every person. You're going to have people over here that are question-based selling, that you have to listen and focus on personality styles. And then you're going to have a lot of people that are kind of in the middle. In this episode, we're going to break down the best ways to overcome objections, no matter where you're getting them. In real estate, you're going to get them in buyer consultations, listing presentations. You're going to get them on the door. Maybe someone DMs you on your Instagram, or you get a referral and you have to handle it over the phone. Most of the time, the top realtors, the top salespeople, the beautiful thing about objections is they realize that they actually don't get that many. And so one thing that I put my foot down on this topic is it's actually your ability to present, to communicate, and to listen to your client. Then you'll know how to navigate forward with that individual. It's not the word by word scripts. So anybody that is training you or teaching you on this doesn't understand how human psychology works. They don't understand how human behavior works. If you can better understand, read more books on psychology and human behavior and why consumers act and why they don't act, and how to listen and understand personality types, that'll allow you to not only get way less objections, but how to navigate them. So today we're going to break it down into two parts. If you're going to prospect door to door, you're going to get what are called smoke screens. You have to understand what those are. If you're learning about how to go door to door as a real estate agent, or just in general, and your trainer's not training you on what are called smoke screens, then they haven't done it for a while, or they haven't done it long enough, because smoke screens are what you get all the time with prospects on the door. We're also going to talk about just objections in general, how to approach them, how to eliminate them so you don't get them as much, but then also how to navigate them. The beautiful thing about real estate is there's 6 or 7 objections that you're going to get every time. So the better you can navigate all of this, the better you'll be, and you'll close more people. Now, why talk about this? Well, in our daily role play group that runs twice a day, we practice objections often, and we practice how to overcome them, what to say, how to navigate the customer and the client, and how to better put them at ease, and all these psychology-based principles. And a lot of times it's more so that than it is the actual scripts. And I realized, we need to train more on this. We need to train more on personality types, on how to listen and better pull up the bottom of the iceberg to better understand the person in front of us. People need more training on that, and they need less training on the actual scripts, on the actual words. Now, both pieces are important, but I'm telling you from my experience, from having knocked doors for 15 years in 40 different markets in the alarm industry, security, as well as real estate, these guiding principles, these universal laws will help you navigate objections better than mastering the scripts. All right, let's jump into this. So my team's going to put this on the screen, but I also want you to map it out in your notes because, again, remember, part of understanding the principle is having the ability to recall it in the moment that you need it. And so by writing it out with a pen and paper, this will help you recall it when you need it, when you're prospecting with clients. So there's 3 things when you go door to door that you have to get really good at. 1, you have to get good at identifying personalities. Who's that person on the other side of the door? And how do I navigate and pivot and adjust to that personality? Then you have to navigate through what are called smoke screens. Then you get to the hook, and then you move forward with that individual. So let's break that down. What's a smoke screen? Well, most of society is pre-programmed to just give you some made-up objection to get you off their doorstep, to get you out of their face. We experience it all the time. Think about the last time that you went to the store and there's a salesperson that confronted you and you just said, we're just looking. But you were really there to spend quite a bit of money, but you just didn't want to deal with that salesperson. That's called a smoke screen. We're just throwing something out we've been pre-programmed to say. We don't even mean it, but we just want to get that person out of our face and out of our hair. Ring doorbell camera does this now as well. They now have pre-programmed phrases that you can click as a homeowner to get people off your doorstep. So it's not even true. Like they don't even mean the things that they're saying. It's just easier to kick someone off by pushing that button and it says, "We are not interested. Come back another time." And that's it. And so you have to understand what are these smoke screens and how to navigate them. So write these out. What's cool is recently I made an ebook for all those on the brokerage team and in the coaching platform. And it's 45 pages. It breaks all of this down. If you want to get access to that, you can purchase it. You can get into coaching, get it for free, or get on the brokerage team. For now, take notes. I'm going to break it all down. So when you prospect door to door, there's 6 questions that you want to ask, no matter who opens that door. As you ask these 6 questions, you're going to get hit with all these smoke screens. You're going to need 1 or 2 lines to overcome each one to buy yourself a little bit extra time to move forward. That's all you're trying to do. Everything that they say to you in those first 6 questions. Hi, Jeremy with Real. I'll be really quick. The neighbors tell you coming by. Cool. Real estate market's all over the place. You thought about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. It's your forever home. When do you think you'll move? 6 to 12 months, 15 to 20 years. And then what's different then versus now? If I could show you how to do all that, move up your timeline and pocket $80,000, would you do so? As you're navigating those 6 questions, they're just going to hit you with what are called smoke screens. One important phrase to jot down in your notes is that buyers are liars. Most of the things that you're going to hear are just flat lies. And it's nothing to say about the homeowner. It's nothing to say about you. Again, they're just pre-programmed to say these things. And so what are these smoke screens? Well, let's jot them down. So these are some of the common smoke screens that you're going to get when you're prospecting door to door that people are going to use to just get you off. They're just going to tell you they're not interested. Then you're going to get hit with the no soliciting sign. Then you're going to get hit with, I've got to get going. I've got to get back to my call. Then you're going to get hit with, which neighbor told you that you were going to stop by? Then you're going to get hit with, no, thank you. The market is crazy. I'm going to wait. Then you're going to get hit with, I already have a realtor. Then you're going to get hit with, I'm going to sell it on my own. I don't need a realtor. So all these phrases, they're just pre-programmed to get you off their doorstep. So you have to have 1 to 2 to 3 lines to just be really quick to move forward. Now, my rule of thumb is when I hear it for the first time. So if I'm knocking and I'm going through those 6 questions and they say one of those, I'm just going to completely ignore it. And I keep going forward. If they tell me, oh yeah, there's a no soliciting sign, I just keep going with my pitch. I don't even address it. But if they bring it up a second time, now I'm going to have 1 or 2 lines to overcome it, but I'm not going to make it a big deal. The bigger deal you make it, the harder it is going to be to overcome it. So simply have 1 or 2 lines to overcome it and move forward. Let me give you 1 line per smoke screen, and this will help you navigate as you prospect door to door. The first one for not interested, you can simply say, yeah, I know you're not. Otherwise, you'd have a yard sign out front, laugh at that part. Anyways, and then you jump right back to where you were at. That's it. As simple as that. You have to have a little humor, but then say anyways, and then jump right back to where you were at. So in the 6 questions, if you get hit with that one on number 2, say that phrase, and then anyways, and go right in to question number 3. Now let's talk about no soliciting sign. There's 7 of these. I love all of them. My favorite's going to be the last one though. I say, yeah, I did, but I also saw your welcome mat. You're sending me mixed signals. Anyways, the reason why I'm here, and you get right back into where you were at in the order of the 6 questions. Let's now go through, I've got to get going. You could say, same here. I have an appointment with, and then you name drop a neighbor. Anyways, and then you jump right back to where you were at. So you address it with humor and you get right back into it. Let's hit the next one. Which neighbor would have told me? So turn and point and you say, oh, it could have been blank, blank, blank. Just name people that you've talked to. Name drop those people. Anyways, the reason why I'm here. or anyways, and you jump right back into the pitch. That one's an easy one. If someone says, no, thank you, market's crazy, you can say, oh, sorry. Yeah, you're actually a few steps ahead of me. This might not even make sense for you. I'll cut the fluff and get straight to the point. Anyways, and you jump right back into it. See the pattern here? One phrase, laugh with some humor, break the ice, and then say anyways, get right back into it. All right, I have a realtor. You could say, oh, good. This actually only works for those that have a realtor. Otherwise, I can't even walk you through this. I lose my license. Anyways, and you jump right into it. Just crack a joke, one quick one-liner, and get right back into it. And the last one, going to sell on my own, I don't need a realtor. You could say, oh, that's good to know. If you were going to use a realtor, I wouldn't even be allowed to talk to you. My manager would actually fire me. You laugh right there, and then you say, anyways, and you get right back into it. The idea of smoke screens is as you're navigating those 6 questions with the homeowner, it's like there's smoke everywhere. You're just going to get thrown these smoke screens and these quote unquote objections. Don't acknowledge them the first time they come up. You're going to have a one-liner the second time they come up. And then usually after the hook where you say, hey, if I could show you how to do that, pull up your timeline, pocket a ton of money. Would you be interested in that? That's when you're going to actually resolve the objection. And that's what we're going to talk about here in a minute. But those first 30 seconds, 60 seconds, even 90 seconds, buyers are liars. Most of that stuff is just to get you off the doorstep. All right, so now let's transition to the actual objections. You know how to navigate the smoke screens. Now let's transition to the objections. If you're in a buyer consult, listing presentation, or you're with someone out the door, the number one rule of objections is to prevent them. A lot of times we spend so much time on resolving objections. Well, why not learn how to prevent them so they never come up in the first place? You do that by building it into your presentation. If I know that people are going to give me the I'm a renter objection, then I'm simply going to bring that up in my presentation, whether early on or down the road as it comes up a second or third time. That way I don't have to resolve it and I can save myself a ton of time. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is if you go get Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there's a chapter in there. It's habit 5. It's called Seek First to Understand, Then to Be Understood. And he gives this analogy of an eye doctor and people coming into the office and wanting to get a diagnosis and get glasses. Well, what if you were to go in, you got no diagnosis, and you were just handed a pair of glasses, and the doctor said, well, this worked for everybody else. It should work for you as well. That wouldn't go over so well. You'd probably want a refund or at least force a diagnosis out of the doctor. Well, when we resolve objections with people, no matter where we get them, you have to do the same thing. You have to put on your psychologist hat, your doctor hat, your mom hat, and you have to look at it. What pieces of the puzzle am I missing? How do I understand them better? And then go to solve. Remember, if there's no pain, if there's no issue to solve, then you can't go and solve it. Too often we want to jump the gun too quick. Don't do that. Slow down and put your thinking cap on. So in the ebook, there's 4 different things that you need to do. And if you draw a circle on your piece of paper, it's almost as if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one is observe and ask. Again, you have to clarify. And so say something like, I appreciate you bringing that up. I can see that's important to you. You mind elaborating on that so I can better understand where you're coming from? So put the thinking cap on. Really understand their situation. Then you're going to do what's called isolate. You're going to isolate the objection. You don't want to make the mistake that there's 50 objections and you're trying to resolve all of them, but there's a core objection that if you can go at that core and solve it, it'll solve every other objection. So you have to isolate the objection, make sure that you're going to resolve before you do the right objection. So you could say something like, now, besides blank, whatever the objection is there anything else you're needing to have me resolve in order for us to work together or in order for us to move forward? Then you say, so if we resolve blank, you'll then feel confident and comfortable moving forward with me. Is that fair to assume? And then boom, you isolate the objection, move forward on the thing that's actually important to them. So number 1, you observe and ask, then you isolate. The third thing is you have to give an antidote. You have to have some type of story to use in order to better pitch what you're about to explain. In sales, that's called a feel, felt, found. You can simply say, I totally hear where you're coming from. I actually just worked with John and Sally about a month ago. They had the same concern, felt frustrated and lost, just like you are. But they found that in order to do blank, they were able to move up their timeline. Can I walk you through that? So you're going to use a story. You're going to show what they found, and you're going to ask for permission to explain how they found that to be true. That's called a feel, felt, found. That'll allow you to use that story as leverage and as authority to then solve that problem and move forward. And the last one is to transition. Too often with objections, we don't transition. We resolve it really well. We have a story. We have a framework, a skeleton to overcome it, but then we stop. And we almost like wait to be like, now, did I resolve it? Are you okay? Was that good enough? Are you going to now shut me down, or can we move forward? And there's this weird pause. Don't do that. Transition. Figure out how to overcome that objection by listening to them, by asking the right questions. Isolate it. Use an example of a past client and then transition on. You don't need this aha, the heavens open, angels come down, and it's a yes, you resolved that so well, Jeremy. We are now going to move. It never happens. You just transition forward. Then all of a sudden, you're 40 minutes in the conversation. They're wanting to go look at homes. They're ready to sign the listing documents. And now you've transitioned them forward. So when you get into sales, remember, you have to master this side of things, the personality types, the psychology of human behavior, the how to listen without wanting to be understood. You have to focus on the body language and reading people. That will better help you prevent objections from coming up, first of all, and then how to overcome them. It's not just about scripts. If you memorize scripts and you don't understand this side of it, then someone could throw you off over here with an objection you've never heard, and you won't know how to solve it. But if you can understand the framework and how to navigate this, this will better help you go through smoke screens when you're on the door and objections if you happen to get them in your listing appointments, buyer consultations, or when you're on the door. All right, so let's wrap up. So what did you take away from this? Is it scripts are more important, or is it human behavior that's more important? Or is it a mix of both? Drop a comment below your biggest takeaway. If you're in the coaching program or if you're on the brokerage team, this ebook is for free. If you want to purchase it, reach out to me and I'll send you the link. But you have to better understand human behavior and how to really listen to people. The best ones at that are doctors, psychologists, and moms. Better emulate them and you'll help more clients chase their dreams because you overcame the objections that came up.